Back to CT Live, we're going to head to the 90s. That's right, a walk down memory lane. Anthony Carpino visited Retro Junk in Manchester and learned what the owner says his holy grail is.
Retro Junk is a store where stepping through the door feels like stepping back into childhood. From vintage games and toys to some extremely rare Pokemon memorabilia.
What it really comes down to is the power of nostalgia. I've always loved this kind of thing because it's really, for most people, it's the best time of their lives.
Brandon has been collecting his whole life, but eventually realized that the nostalgia these items create was much bigger than his own collection.
You walk in, you've got a number of pinball machines and vintage arcade machines that take quarters still, so you still got the old school feel.
Out of everything inside Retro Junk, there's one item Brandon spent years trying to find. A Pokémon Snap Station kiosk, originally found inside Blockbuster.
I had been hunting for this item for the better part of like 15 or 20 years. And that is right over there. It's the Pokémon Snap Station kiosk. This is the Pokémon Snap Station. Here, I'll even show you the inner workings over here. So it's really just a weird setup with an N64 console.
Yeah.
So I'll show you the whole kind of process. It's really just like a simple photo printer that they shoved inside this machine.
Yep.
So these here are the cards that you would buy at Blockbuster. They have a little chip that gives you a credit.
Yep.
So essentially, you would insert your game here. You would insert the card here. It would give you 1 credit on the screen. You'd go through all the controls and pick out your pictures that you took in the game that you want as stickers.
Yep.
And then they would print.
And then they would print out. So how is it when you think about like having this here and like kids could now have those same kind of memories, kind of walking in here and playing a game real quick, and it's just so unique.
That's exactly, yeah. Not many people have it, and that's really my goal, man. Is to educate as well as put smiles on faces. And there's not really much like this around here. I mean, but I love it. I love it. I love that I can be here every day and that I can call this my career. That's like my holy grail that will never leave.
So where does a store like this keep finding decades-old treasures? Brandon said these days, the treasures usually find him.
Once you get a physical location and the word starts spreading, people come to you. So I really don't go outsourcing at all. I get nothing online. It all comes from the public. They're welcome to give us a call first or just come in the shop with what they have. I go through it all, make an evaluation on it, and make them an offer. They get an offer in both cash and store credit.
And the trip down memory lane doesn't stop with toys and video games. In the back of Retro Junk lives Natural Selection Vintage.
And everything in here, it kind of like has my cosign. I think it's cool. I think someone will like it, and so I'm always fortunate for the standout things, but always very happy to have like good like bread and butter pieces that just haven't gone out of style, and that's why they're still relevant and still around. So yeah, I'm excited about the little stuff just as much as the big stuff. All vintage clothing, mostly 80s, 90s stuff, some older stuff, some newer stuff, but anything that I think is fun, I think someone will enjoy.
Everyone comes in and not a single person doesn't go back down memory lane. The vibes are always up when you're coming to Retro Junk for sure.
You might be like me and wondering what those Pokemon cards and binders in my basement are worth right now, or maybe my Beanie Babies. Ultimately, I don't think I would think 90s and vintage go in the same sentence, but I guess we're here now. Coming up, your full forecast, Ryan Hanrahan joining us on this Monday. 90s and vintage.
I didn't see you as someone collecting Pokemon cards.
Oh, I got a few Charizards in my back pocket.